Hello everyone, welcome to my update US Gossip channel. Sister Wives Kody Brown talks sex before marriage for his children. Kody Brown, the founder of Sister Wives, once preached that love should be multiplied, not divided. However, when it comes to his daughter, he wants to ensure that she is not independently multiplying. At least not until her future husband puts a ring on it. Aurora Brown, the oldest daughter of Kody and Robyn Brown, brought her new boyfriend home on the episode that aired on October 26. Naturally, Kody began telling the unsuspecting suitor that it was his responsibility to protect Aurora emotionally and physically. Even though Kody has admitted to being Mormon naughty in his single days, he wants none of that for his daughter. Unfortunately, poor Brody didn't have a clue as to what Kody was referring. As the young rancher told her father about giving Aurora a pocket knife for protection, that coded message flew right over his head. Kody gave the example of his own marriage. "When I'm protecting Robyn from myself," Kody told Brody, "I'm trying to protect her from being hurt by me." While her new boyfriend may not have had a clue what her dad was talking about, Aurora eventually caught the gist. Aurora explained, "After a while, it's clear that my dad is talking about chastity. Also, I can tell that Brody is heavily debating strategies because he says, I know how to use knives. I'm trained in mixed martial arts." "She's good, sir." Meanwhile, Kody thinks he's driving his message home. In a confessional, he admitted, "I don't want my kids playing around. When you're just dating, you're kissing another man's wife until she's your wife. And if she doesn't become your wife, you're kissing another man's wife." Of course, when Kody was dating Robyn, he still had 3 other wives at home with whom he could be affectionate. Supposedly, all 3 of them had their first kiss with Kody at their respective weddings. "I believe in chastity," he continued. "Don't take something that doesn't belong to you." To Brody's credit, he hung in there throughout Kody's embarrassing lecture. In the end, Kody decided he was trustworthy after all. "He wears cowboy boots," he concluded. "He rides horses, he listens to country western music, he even plays guitar. Can I trust my daughter with a cowboy? Well, I think I can trust my daughter with this cowboy." Kody Brown has never been shy about voicing his opinions on love, faith, and intimacy. But in the October 26th episode, Kody raised more eyebrows than ever before, not just for his intense fatherly chastity talk with his daughter Aurora's new boyfriend, but for a moment of raw confession that may have hinted at deeper problems in his own marriage to Robyn Brown. When Kody told his daughter's boyfriend Brody that he has to protect Robyn from himself, the words carried more weight than a casual parental warning. For longtime viewers of Sister Wives, this was more than just an awkward dad moment. It was Kody inadvertently revealing that he's wrestling with unmet emotional and physical needs in his relationship with Robyn, the only wife he has left after 3 divorces and years of heartbreak. It all began innocently enough, a typical family introduction that, in the Brown household, turned into a philosophical sermon about purity, self-control, and the dangers of temptation. Aurora, Robyn's oldest daughter, brought home her new boyfriend Brody to meet her parents. Robyn, as usual, looked anxious but supportive, while Kody appeared both protective and performative, eager to impress upon the young man his version of old-fashioned courtship values. Kody's opening remarks were filled with that classic Brown blend of awkward humor and moral superiority. "It's your job to protect her," he said firmly, directing his stare at Brody. The poor young man, completely unaware of where Kody was headed, smiled nervously and responded, "I actually gave her a pocket knife. She can protect herself." Cue the nervous laughter, but Kody wasn't joking. What Brody thought was a light-hearted exchange quickly turned into a spiritual lecture about chastity and sexual restraint. "When I'm protecting Robyn from myself," Kody declared, his voice heavy with self-righteous gravity, "I'm trying to protect her from being hurt by me." It was a statement so layered with irony and unintended vulnerability that even Robyn's face seemed to tense for a split second. For years, Kody has portrayed his relationship with Robyn as divinely ordained, a pure and perfect partnership that rose from the ashes of his failing marriages with Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Yet, behind the veneer of spiritual compatibility and emotional connection, cracks have been forming. When Kody mentioned protecting Robyn from himself, it sounded like a man confessing, in coded language, that his marriage isn't fulfilling him the way it once did. Later in the episode, during his confessional, Kody elaborated on his views about premarital intimacy. "I don't want my kids fooling around," he said sternly, his eyes narrowing in that familiar preacher-like expression. "When you're just dating, you're kissing another man's wife until she's your wife. And if she doesn't become your wife, you're kissing another man's wife." The comment was classic Kody, dramatic, moralizing, and steeped in polygamist ideology. But it also revealed a man still clinging to control in a world where he's lost nearly all of it. In truth, Kody's message about chastity wasn't just for Aurora's boyfriend, it was a reflection of his own frustration. Ever since Christine left him, followed by Janelle and then Mary's emotional departure, Kody has been visibly bitter, resentful, and defensive. He's repeatedly said on camera that Robyn is his loyal wife, the one who stayed when everyone else abandoned him. But staying doesn't necessarily mean thriving. Over the past few seasons, viewers have seen Kody and Robyn's dynamic shift from romantic and united to heavy, burdened, and sometimes outright joyless. When Kody spoke about protecting Robyn from himself, it felt like a man struggling to reconcile his desires with his guilt. "Don't take something that doesn't belong to you," he told Brody, yet many fans would argue that Kody himself has taken far too much from the women in his life. He's demanded loyalty, devotion, and purity while offering jealousy, isolation, and emotional volatility in return. And then came the admission that truly raised questions about whether there's trouble in paradise. In a later confessional scene, brief, almost whispered, Kody admitted that Robyn can't always meet his needs. "We're both exhausted," he said, shaking his head. "She's overwhelmed with the kids and the house. I don't always feel fulfilled." It was a startling confession from a man who has spent years insisting that Robyn was his soulmate, his perfect match, his one legal wife. To say she can't meet his needs, even subtly, was a crack in the facade that fans have been predicting for months. Robyn's response to that tension has been to retreat emotionally. In the same episode, she spoke softly about her hopes for Aurora's future, saying she wants her children to find love that's safe, honest, and guided by God. Her voice trembled slightly, and for a moment, her usual calm seemed fragile. Whether she realizes it or not, Robyn may be projecting her own marital insecurities onto her daughter's courtship. After all, Kody's approach to love has always been about control, emotional, spiritual, and physical. He preaches self-restraint, but what he's really advocating is dominance under the guise of religious morality. When he told Brody that dating is like kissing another man's wife, it wasn't just a lesson in chastity. It was Kody reminding the world that he believes love and intimacy belong only within the boundaries he sets. For years, Kody and Robyn's union has been painted as the emotional core of sister wives, the one relationship that survived the family implosion. But lately, even that seems strained. Their once giddy interviews are now tinged with tension. Kody, who used to beam at Robyn's every word, now often interrupts her or sighs in frustration. Robyn, on the other hand, has taken on the role of the weary peacekeeper, trying to balance Kody's temper while maintaining the image of the devoted wife. This latest episode made it impossible to ignore that their marriage might be fraying under the pressure. When Kody admitted that Robyn can't meet all his needs, it wasn't just about sex, though the undertone of sexual frustration was undeniable. It was about emotional distance. Kody has always craved admiration and validation. When he had 4 wives, he could rotate between them, always finding someone to stroke his ego or soothe his anger. But now, with only Robyn left, he's forced to confront the parts of himself that the other wives used to balance out. In the past, Kody often boasted that polygamy allowed him to become a better man, that juggling multiple relationships taught him patience, compassion, and humility. Yet the reality has proven the opposite. The moment the other women left, his insecurities surfaced in full force. Robyn, for all her loyalty, can't bear the emotional weight of all the unmet expectations Kody has accumulated over the years. So when he lectures Aurora's boyfriend about protecting her from himself, it's hard not to hear the echoes of a man haunted by his own failures. He's not just warning Brody about lust or temptation, he's lamenting his inability to protect his own marriage from his temper, pride, and possessiveness. Still, in true sister-wives fashion, Kody tried to wrap the conversation up on a lighter note. After grilling Brody for what felt like an eternity, he concluded with a grudging approval. He wears cowboy boots, Kody mused. He rides horses, listens to country music, even plays guitar. Can I trust my daughter with a cowboy? Well, I think I can trust my daughter with this cowboy. But even in that moment of levity, the subtext lingered. Kody was projecting his old-fashioned ideals onto a younger generation that doesn't share his worldview. His daughter, Aurora, was clearly embarrassed but understanding. In her confessional, she admitted that it took her a while to catch on to her father's chastity talk. After a while, she said with a half-smile, "It's clear that my dad's talking about chastity. And I can tell Brody's thinking about tactics. I know how to use knives. I'm trained in mixed martial arts." "She's good, sir." Her humor lightened the mood, but it couldn't fully mask the tension that permeated the entire exchange. The Browns have always struggled to balance faith with reality, but this conversation felt like a metaphor for Kody's current life, a man stuck preaching ideals that even he no longer fully lives by. As for Robyn, she seemed both amused and uncomfortable. Her eyes darted between Kody and Aurora, her smile tight, her body language guarded. Fans have noticed that Robyn's once warm demeanor has cooled considerably this season. She no longer gushes about Kody being her dream husband. Instead, she talks about enduring, about commitment through trials, about being the last one standing. It's language that sounds less like romance and more like resignation. That shift hasn't gone unnoticed. Online discussions among Sister Wives fans have been buzzing ever since the episode aired. Some viewers sympathized with Robyn, saying she's trapped in a relationship that's draining her. Others accused Kody of hypocrisy, preaching purity while confessing to unfulfilled desires. If Robyn can't meet his needs, one fan commented on social media, maybe the problem isn't Robyn. Maybe the problem is Kody's ego. Indeed, Kody's admission could signal a new phase in his reality TV saga. With his family fractured and his credibility waning, his relationship with Robyn is the last pillar holding up the entire sister-wives narrative. But if that pillar begins to crack, the whole structure could crumble. In some ways, Kody's talk about chastity for his children was a desperate attempt to reassert authority, to remind himself and others that he's still the moral and spiritual leader of his family. Yet, behind that authoritative tone lies a man who's lost control of nearly everything that once defined him. His wives have left, his children are forging their own independent paths, and his faith-based justification for polygamy has been publicly dismantled. Even his statement about protecting Robyn from himself reflects a kind of internal warfare. Perhaps he's struggling with guilt, desire, and resentment all at once, knowing that Robyn, the woman who once represented